Hi, my name is Winnie. Welcome to my life's journey, and today I talk about part 2 of the mother wound, which is how did I then deal? Because to be where I am, to even get to a place where I'm able to talk about this and learn the lessons and even forgive my mother for the broken relationship that we had. So stay with me as I go into part 2. And of course, I just want to say that in the African culture, it's very hard for us to talk about the mother wound because somehow we believe that our parents are angels, our parents cannot do us harm. Yet we have people whose parents have done them harm. And it's okay because our parents are humans. So let's humanize our parents and let's see how then do we handle the mother wound. All right? Let's go right into the video. My journey healing my mother wound was not a straightforward one. And one of the things I had to do is I had to express the pain. I had to come face to face with the pain and to say that I feel angry. I feel angry. I feel unloved. I feel ignored. I felt shunned. I felt ridiculed. I felt victimized. I had to journal down what I was feeling. I remember going to counseling sessions the first days and going to a therapy session and the therapist asking me, Winnie, how are you feeling today? I used to hate that question. Why? Because it would force me to go inside of my emotions and I hated it. But I just kept on at it. I would take time, I would cry and pour out my heart, how I felt unloved, how I felt ignored, how I felt I didn't matter to my mother who had to leave me at 3 months old, how I felt like I didn't matter to my grandmother. And it was difficult. It was really difficult. I had to pour out. So the one thing I did is I had to express the pain I was feeling. I had to be honest about everything that I was feeling. It's about time we just accept the emotions that we feel because that is a window to our healing. But so many of us are busy denying what we are feeling. But of course, I'm just saying you accept them so that you fix them. Say, I felt ignored, I felt, just acknowledge how they made you feel. Acknowledge how that past affected you. That is how you'll be able, and journaling helped. For me, it really helped. Just write it down. For me, I always do audios. My brother knows this. I always do audios saying how I feel, whether it's positive or negative, and I always write down. I have so many books that I write down, and there's so many. So right now I decided to start doing audios instead, because audios, that means I can do whichever place I am. Then the other one is learn to love yourself. You see, a mother wound comes when you are not taught to love yourself. So your mother is the one who's supposed to nurture you, to teach you how to love yourself, but they never taught you that. So learn to love yourself. Some of us, sometimes when I meet people and I just look at their actions, I can just tell they don't love themselves. The way you treat yourself, how do you love on yourself? I remember meeting a certain lady, a friend of mine. I don't know if she will watch this, and she was telling me, Aki, Winnie, you love yourself. I just hope that you'll always find people who love you the way you love yourself. And I love it. I loved it because for me, it was not just about them noticing it. It meant that I'd done the journey and I was still doing the journey. So learn to love yourself. Recreate your self-image, because sometimes when you have a mother wound, your self-image is affected. The way you look at yourself, the people who like to sleep around, chances are you have a mother wound or a father wound. So it's important to go back and ask yourself, this behavior, where is it coming from? Because when you have a low self-image, what happens is you sleep around because you're trying to find validation outside of yourself, okay? Whether it's a man or a woman. And just learn to build your self-image, because our mothers were supposed to help us build on our self-image, but they, in a positive way, but they didn't. So right now, start to love on yourself. Learn to treat yourself the way you wished someone else would have treated you. Learn to be soft with yourself, the tone you use on yourself. So just learn to love on yourself. Even on your bad days, even when you've made a mistake, learn to be there for yourself, okay? And then the other one is develop self-awareness. We have so many people who lack self-awareness, the way they react, the way they, go all out, trying to pretend we are leaders in our offices, but the way we behave leaves all the people who are reporting to us, just wondering where did this one come from? So learn to be self-aware. Understand your strengths, understand your weaknesses, understand the areas that are a trigger for you. Just get to understand who you are properly. And this sometimes you understand by, there's a tool I like using called Johari's Window. And Johari's Window is such a powerful tool because it shows you what is known to you and known to others, what is known to you and unknown to others, what is unknown to you and known to others, and that is where feedback comes in, and what is unknown to you and unknown to others, that is where therapy comes in. it's important for you to understand that there are things that happen to you that affect how you perceive the world, that affect how you receive other people. And it's important for you to always leave a window for things you may not know about you. So be open to be given feedback, because that's the only way you'll grow. There are so many things you are blindsided to, you may not be able to see it. So be open, be self-aware, okay? So get to learn who you are. That is the only way you'll also heal your motherhood, so that you don't go causing your children more wounds and causing other people wounds, and then you remain alone. Or maybe you operate from a place of fear, your relationships and everything around you operates from a place of fear, okay? So you have to also feel what you're feeling. Stop denying what you're feeling. I've met people who they're like, I'm not angry, and even the tone they're using, obviously they're angry. So it's important for you to understand that, to feel what you're feeling and label it. That today I'm feeling angry, give me a few minutes to process. Today I may not be able to have that conversation, please. You did not give me time enough to make this decision, so I'm not able to come. Just label what you're feeling and give someone feedback based on, the truth of how you feel. Be authentic. Get to understand who you are completely, so that you can be honest with yourself and other people. And then the next point is parenting yourself. I call it reparenting yourself, because already you had parents who parented you the way they parented you. You did not like the way they parented you, and what happened is you got some wounds. So learn to reparent yourself. Give yourself all the things you never had as a child and that you wanted. The people who, when you were a child, you wanted your parent to go with you for a walk, then go for a walk. You wanted your parents to take you to Dubai, then if you're working and you're able to, pay for yourself for that trip. Some of you had a trip and you're not able to go because your parents could not afford it, and that affected you. Pay for that trip for yourself. Right now you can take a trip to whichever part of the world that you want to go to. You can save in advance. Plan to do that. Some of you just wanted someone to just lie on the grass with you. Lie on the grass. So just start reparenting yourself and giving to yourself everything that you wanted that you're not able to get, okay? And then just care for yourself. Develop some self-care routine for yourself. Put some mask on your face, shave your legs, take time to just light a candle, put some music. Personally, I love listening to jazz music in the background. I love jazz music. I feel it's very relaxing. That kind of music that plays in restaurants, well, high-end, nice restaurants. That one, I love that kind of music, that background. Sometimes I just put it even when I'm working or even when I'm just at home. And I love music generally. So I love, part of my self-care is listening to music. I just love music. And then the last thing I want to say about healing the mother wound is forgiveness. I remember doing my therapy, and the therapist telling me, you know what, Winnie, let's humanize your mother. Oh my goodness. Well, I didn't even know what that meant at first. But basically, she told me that, how old was your mother when she got you? Now imagine you're the same age and you have a child. Would you have done differently? Just think of your mother as a normal person who went through the challenges and decided to leave you at home to go and pursue her dreams, and just humanize her. Understand where she was coming from. Acknowledge my own feelings and process God's feelings even before you try to forgive. So, and I learned from that session and many sessions after that, and I cried. I had to grieve as well. Part of forgiveness is also grieving what you never had. For me, I had to grieve the love. I never had her touch. I never had a lot of things from her, and I didn't even get to spend time with her and understand her. I came to meet my mother, at age 15. So I never got that chance to, and I would feel bad because I had siblings who would call her mom, and I couldn't call her mom. So it was really not the easiest place to be. And then, but I cried. I had to grieve that moment of just a childhood that was lost. Although right now, because there's so many things I'm doing in terms of reparenting myself and self-care, I don't feel like I used to feel. Right now, I feel like I've been able to give myself so much that I've always wanted, and I'm in a very good space, and it took years. Let me tell you the truth, it took years, and it has not been easy. The other way to deal with a mother wound is environment. The environment, that any kind of healing needs a certain environment, and a mother wound is just something that you need to heal from, and that's why the people you surround yourself with is critical. Sometimes your pain, not everyone knows what it is, so the environment in which you're healing in also matters. So create the physical environment that you need, and then also create the emotional environment that you need as well. So all the people around you, all the things around you, because you need an environment that will validate what you feel and not deny what you feel. So that's it about the mother wound, and this this is something that was so personal to me, and I am so glad that I had to do the journey, that I'm in such a beautiful place. I have friends that I really love, and I realize that I genuinely love, you know, people. I genuinely love people, and it's easy for me to understand another person right now that I've done the journey, rather than that time when I was busy struggling within myself. So there's this quote I know that says that human beings are like a very deep well. We don't know what is happening inside of them, but once in a while, based on what comes floating on the surface in terms of their behavior, in terms of how they react, in terms of how they talk, in terms of how their body language is, we can almost tell what is going on inside of them. And that changed the way I looked at people. It changed the way I looked at my mom. And unfortunately, my mom died before I could forgive her, but I had to forgive her after her death. But I wish we had a chance to speak when she was still alive. However, I'm just sharing this for someone else who has a relationship with their mother, and there's a way to fix it. And sometimes even there are people who you'll forgive and you may not really have the relationship, which is still okay. But you deserve peace. You deserve peace, and peace cannot happen until forgiveness happens. And forgiveness doesn't start by you going to tell them you forgive them. It starts by you processing what they did to you, and you grieving what the pain, the kind of pain they caused you. I'll talk about the father wound next time, because I also didn't have my own father in my life. So I'll talk about the father wound as well and how I dealt with it. So otherwise, God bless you. Have a fantastic, fantastic time.